Howdy, y'all. So, today I wanted to go over a game that I've been playing lately that I've actually been like really into for no reason. It's not a competitive experience or anything like that. It's just a casual game I've been playing in my free time. It's free to play on my lunch break at work. I need something to do, and everybody poops. So yeah, I figured I'd share it with you guys because I actually kind of got into it a little bit, and I thought it was really good. It's called Black Desert Mobile. It's the mobile version of Black Desert, which is a PC action combat game, and the mobile version is pretty similar. It's action combat. You get 8 skills and a dodge buttons, kind of similar to like Guild Wars 2, but it's a little different because there's auto targeting, there's no manual targeting. It's a mobile game, and I just wanted to talk about it a little bit because everyone that has a halfway decent phone can probably play this and get into it and really enjoy it. It's accessible to everyone. You can do it anywhere. So if you're pooping or, on lunch break or whatever, you can just kind of get into this, hang out and play it and have a good time. I started out playing it on my phone, just messing around, and then I realized, oh, I can play this on BlueStacks. And then I tried it on BlueStacks, and I messed with the controllers a little bit, and it's like playing an MMO. It's like playing a Diablo-esque or you know what? I've got some B-reel footage. It's cool, right? Like it's just a neat game to play, and it feels really good to play on BlueStacks. You can take it with you and play it on the go. A lot of people are kind of divided on the auto feature, whether or not it's good or bad or whatever. I personally like it. I like grindy games, but I don't necessarily always want to be grinding. Sometimes I want to grind, but I would like to remain somewhat competitive. Sometimes it's cool just to watch it go. I like it. That said, I'm not real big on doing the auto like story quests. I like to do those by hand. I've kind of gotten into this routine where I come home at night during my dinner or whatever, I'll just be kind of playing through by hand. The boss rushes and like the little side missions are all really fun to play by hand if you've got it set up right. The auto feature, I like it personally. You can just auto menial tasks. It's convenient. Even if you're not full no lifing it, you can still stay mostly competitive. And that is an awesome touch. Maybe you want to be a no life gamer, but you actually have to do stuff like work. Well, this game is right up your alley. You can be a working person, a working gamer and still be competitive in this. There's a cash shop. If you really want to be in-game competitive, I don't think you need to necessarily drop any money in the cash shop. I think if you just play it consistently, I think you're in-game viable. I'm not there yet, but I think you can probably free to play it. Are you going to be able to keep up with all the whales? No, probably not, but you'll still probably be good enough. Another thing I like about the auto feature is that if you just want to chill, like if you want to have a chill night plan, you can do that. You can plug in your so these things are super awesome. I don't really play my PS4, but I use this controller like constantly. You can pair it with your phone, you can plug it into your computer. Anywho, I'm not going to gush. I'm not here to gush about a PlayStation controller. You can kick back, pour yourself a drink, play on BlueStacks with that controller, doing some quests, going through autoing it, chilling out, relaxing, maybe on like Discord or something, chatting with your friends, and it's a really enjoyable experience just going through and hanging out with the controller. Or you can get home and instead of a drink, down a Red Bull and get on your keyboard and mouse setup and cue some arenas and PvP and go at it with the keybinds and everything. And I think that's probably good too. Or you can do something in between, like kick back with the controller and PvP or whatever, man. I don't know your life. There's so many ways to actually approach this game. I think it's freaking awesome. And that's one of the things I liked about PC BDO is there's so many ways to play the game that just sit down and play. It's awesome. The story is 100% fully voice acted. The main quest, 100% voice acted. It blew my freaking mind. Like I was going through it and I'm like, okay, this has got to end after this. No, it doesn't end. I'm through all of the game that came out at release. All of the main quests have been voice acted. The side quests are not voice acted, but all of the main quests have been voice acted, and the story is actually pretty fun. Like there's been moments that, got me. I caught myself laughing, feeling a little bad or whatever. And that's that's amazing for like a mobile game, for any game. Heck, that's more effort than I think most games put in. Even for a non-mobile game, it's still quite pretty. In my opinion, this looks on par with like Diablo or Path of Exile. Just 1080p, 120 FPS, gorgeous animations, gorgeous models. I mean, if you zoom in, like there's some elements that I don't think were like look that great. Like the trees are not that great, and because it's free look, you can actually see that. But that's being nitpicky. The majority of the game is beautiful, especially in the context that it was made for, which is a mobile game. I'm playing it on BlueStacks in 1080p, and it's still a beautiful game. Is it on par with like a PC game level graphics? Well, depends on how old it is. If it's more than like 4 or 5 years old, yeah, it's on par. If you're just talking about like a new game that came out like Control or something, no, it's not comparable. It's beautiful. Art style's good. The graphics are great. One thing I look for in games is a power curve. So personally, I like feeling like I'm progressing through a game. In my opinion, the power curve on the uptake is a little bit too high. Like you get stuff a little too fast. Later on in the game, it feels a little slow, but that actually makes it feel worth it when you start getting things. I am level 57 right now. You get this awakening ascension thing. Your character gets new abilities and a new weapon, and you feel really good when you go through that. It's like a secondary class unlock or a primary class unlock. It's taken me longer on mobile to get there, but because it's taking me longer to get there, I know it's going to feel really, really good when I do. I'm actually hyped up for it. I feel like the game does a pretty good job of walking you through kind of the initial steps of getting everything set up. There's a permanent event going on right now that just gives you basically catch up. Like it's a catch up mechanic, but it also introduces you to most of the systems. One thing that it doesn't introduce you to is it doesn't tell you that you can buy a pet in the pearl shop every week for 400 black pearls. That's an important detail that I had to figure out on my own. So there's that information. My hot take that this game is on par with games like Path of Exile or Diablo 3. It's got way more systems. The power curve is comparable, also really addictive. The Ascension Awakening mechanic actually, like that you hit towards endgame, actually makes the whole thing feel way better, way cooler. But yeah, there's so much depth. The camp system is so neat, and that's something that neither of those games, which are, in my opinion, the main competition, like the main type of game you would play if you're that kind of person that likes these systems, there's so much more depth that it's not really comparable. And because it's a mobile game and people, whales, and just everyday people who play it, shovel money at it for whatever reason, it's going to get more development. Now, it's not to say I condone people paying for experiences they enjoy. That's just not what I personally do. And I definitely don't condone people spending money that they don't have on these sort of things. If you plan on spending money on a video game, make sure you've got at least 6 months of your own income stashed away in an account somewhere, because if you don't, you should not be spending that money. I don't like giving investment advice, but I feel like it's kind of a moral obligation for me to say that, because this is what I do, right? Like I'm a free to play gamer. So if you plan on playing some of these games that I play, and you do want to buy stuff, which there's nothing wrong with that, make sure that you're in a healthy financial place before you do it. Because if you're not, free to play is still 100% fine. It feels really good when you get anywhere as free to play. It's very rewarding. Just stick to it. Okay, that aside, this is a great game. You can sit down, play this on your PC in place of like Diablo or in places of like Path of Exile, and I think you'll be really, really happy. The weakest areas of the game, I have two main criticisms. One, the marketing team, at least the American US side marketing team for this game, sucks. I didn't even know. The only reason I know about this game and the reason I'm making this video is because I played Black Desert for PC. I was like, oh, they're coming out with a mobile thing, and I paid attention to it. But if I didn't pay attention to it, I wouldn't know this game exists. There's no marketing for it, as far as I can tell. None whatsoever. And it is a magnificent piece of work. I've not played another mobile MMO that's anything like this. Nothing like this. This is an amazing. Honestly, I put this in BlueStacks. I would be happy to play this as a PC game. It's that good. To not even know about it unless you just for some reason followed it, like that's a huge misstep on someone's part. I mean, there's still people playing this game. You see people running around all the time. The marketing, huge miss in my opinion. This game should be packed with people. It's great. It's a great release, and there's just nobody playing it. The other critique I have is the default controls on like a mobile device are kind of, they don't feel real great. They're industry standard controls, so I think that's probably just more of a me issue than anything. It feels really good if you Bluetooth your controller to your phone as far as combat goes. But then if you want to do like a quest or something, you have to constantly be picking it up and putting it down. That's kind of annoying. If you're just playing with the on-screen controls, you get your screen all greasy and the sensitive. I have big hands, so it's kind of janky the way that all goes together. And yeah, sometimes it's not a system I like. But if you're comfortable with on-screen controls, they're basically the same as every other on-screen control system. You shouldn't have any trouble with it. I kind of just want to stick with this game and go over some systems as I hit them. Maybe go over event stuff. I'm not sure. It's BDO, so events are where you make your bread and butter 90% of the time. If you play outside of the events, I mean, there's one or two systems that you'll end up familiarizing yourself with, but by and large, if you're playing BDO, just play the events. You'll get the big rewards. So I want to just kind of go over some of the systems as I hit them. Maybe the camp stuff, maybe some enchantment stuff. I'm not sure. There's numbers to get into, but I don't know if I necessarily need to. So yeah, I hope you guys don't mind me diversifying a bit. I I'm not gonna do this every day. This is not an all the time thing. I wanted to gush about this game I've been playing. It's really good. Maybe some of you will like it. It is the best mobile MMO I've played to date. If you're an MMO fan, or if you're like a Diablo fan or anything like that, I recommend checking it out. Let me know what you thought in the comments. Toss me a like. I plan on revisiting this at some point in the future. Again, not an everyday sort of thing. I just want to come back and kind of touch on it every now and then, talk about how the free to play model works in Video Mobile. Thanks everybody for watching, and hope you have a great day. Adios.